I'm gonna get started. So my name is Shasta. I actually recognize a lot of you. My name is Shasta. I'm the Community Relations Coordinator for Wave Bus. And I'm here today to talk to you about some service changes we had to make effective July 26th. Unfortunately, there was some direct reductions in service, but we have also revamped our fixed route. We started the Community Connector, the one in Chelsea, Dexter, and Scioto Townships in 2000, and we started the Chelsea Community Ride in 2010. And there has been staff added since then, but they have not really been changed. So we started in 1976. Next year's our 50th anniversary. We are going to have a Wave Carnival to celebrate. Right? Doing it sooner, the email list will get them. Wave is rural public transportation. That's how we can do the door-to-door. That's the main way we give rides. We only have 3 fixed routes. Most public transportation have a lot more routes than that, but we have rural transportation, so we go to your door, take you to anywhere in Washington County, and bring you back. Wave gave 27,000 rides in fiscal year 2023. Our fiscal year ends September 30th of each year. We go by federal government fiscal years. And we're on track right now to hit around 53,000 rides in fiscal year 2025. We have almost doubled the rides that we are doing with the changes we have made. So Wave has the door-to-door, has the fixed route, the free Chelsea bus, the community connector that goes to Chelsea, Dexter, and Scioto, and then the Jackson Road connector that goes up and down Jackson Road. We have a late night service that Chelsea EDA and 15 other Chelsea businesses put money towards. That is running until the last Saturday in August. And that runs from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then we have shuttles and group trips. So the reason I have this up here is these are our top door-to-door stops. We used these stops right here to revamp these fixed routes so that these buses are taking people where they need to go the most. For example, you guys looked in your Chelsea Community Ride, the bus that goes around all the time in Chelsea, it officially stops at the Chelsea Senior Center every round now. It's a lot easier to get here when you want. So this kind of gives you an idea. Our new brochures also have the deviations in there. A lot of people don't realize that our fixed routes can deviate 3/4 of a mile. So Jenny, I'm sure a lot of you know that drive the Chelsea Community Ride, she takes people to McDonald's because it's not far from Cowles, right? So those are listed in there, but it kind of just talks about, shows you the deviations we can do with the fixed routes. And then one thing we did for the Jackson Road connector earlier this year is it goes to Scioto Farms. A lot of people ride it, so we've actually added a second stop. So we have been paying attention to this to make it better for our riders. Chelsea Community Ride. This is the bus you guys see with the big wave that Jenny drives that is free thanks to contribution from Chelsea Retirement Community. Nobody had ever charged fares on that bus. So this was the first map. This is the stops we've been using since it started in 2010. Very confusing map. But for the Chelsea Hospital, it was stopping right on Main Street there yet. But stopping on the road by that light, by the main entrance, not at the hospital, right? We took this, we made a map that's a lot easier to understand, and then these stops, there's all the stops in CRC, stops by the Bushnell and Warren Apartments. Those are all the same. Wilkinson and Old US 12, there's a lot of stops there, so then that now is officially a stop. The Pines, so the old Chelsea Community Ride would stop at the senior living communities, I think like not every round, like especially the Pines. It now stops at the senior communities every round. If you notice in there, you can get there every time. One thing we do is we do have a stop at Palmer Auto, and people want to go to the farmers market before all the good stuff was going. The bus now starts earlier, stops at senior community, so you can get to the farmers market right there at Palmer Commons when it's earlier in the morning. So the Chelsea Hospital stop is now at the hospital. The bus runs from the wellness center, actually drives by the professional building. I mean, I was just there yesterday with my kid getting a test. So it's an easy deviation for anybody who's in a professional building. And then one thing we'd like to point out is although the bus goes to like Chelsea State Bank or Chelsea Pharmacy, you can stop at any of those stores. You just need to let Jenny know if you want her to drop you off at a store, outside a store that she doesn't stop at, she will do it. Just let her know. So this right here shows you a bit about how we did that. Now the changes for the Chelsea Community Ride. So we did get cut. Oh, do you have a question?
I'm sorry, yeah, I'll hold my question until you finish your change.
Oh, I won't forget. You can tell me. You can tell me.
Oh, I just had a suggestion for other changes, so I want to hear if you've already done.
Okay, so obviously you guys know there's been a lot of reductions in federal and state funding. Right now, state used to reimburse us back in the day 65% of our cost. This year was 34.5. They vote in the current budget that's out, it'll be 29%. We have lost over $200,000 from the state. So we did have to make changes. We have spent a long time trying to revamp these routes and find additional funding, and some of that stuff has come forward, so when we get more of the funding, we can bring it back. Well, this one's actually coming back, that's the big thing. July 26th, the weekends went off, except for the Sunday church service, right? We just met with CRC, they're putting additional funding to waive, so as of August 30th, the Chelsea Community Ride will be back on the weekends. The only difference on the new brochures, if you look in there, Saturday, it's gonna run the whole route, and then Sunday, it runs the 12:50 and later ones, because it has to do the bus or the church pickups in the morning. But if you guys keep that, that's what's gonna run all day Saturday, and then 12:50 on, it's gonna run on Sunday after church. Did I answer your question, or do you have a question, Sarah?
No, so I have this little coupon that I got from the
Yep.
senior center. Do I use it on my community ride or on the other ride?
So you would use it on any other service, so the door to door, it's a good one to use it on. If you did get on the community connector, which I'll talk about next, goes to Chelsea Dyson style, but Chelsea Community Ride never has fares. Nobody pays, my kids don't pay, people my age don't pay. CRC covers it for everyone.
One other question.
Yeah.
So this new route, is this still an hourly route?
Yeah,
So I just want to suggest something to you.
yeah,
I think I'm talking personally now. I think that you should have 2 buses on this route, 30 minutes spacing. Because I think one of the reasons, was speculating, that people might lose the door-to-door service is because they don't want to go one place and then sit there for an hour waiting to be picked up again. If they could get, if they knew that there was a bus coming every 30 minutes, they'd be more inclined to, yeah, we'll take that bus up to the post office, but I'm not gonna take the bus up and wait for an hour to be picked up. I'll drive.
so one thing, okay, so to put any more buses on these routes, you are looking at more additional funding. It costs about $80 an hour for us to run. So it gets to the point where we get more funding to do that than we could, but right now with us having to make the cuts, we do not have the funding available for that. But one thing you have is if you look at your schedule, at the end of every route, there's a orange block, right? And Jenny will come back and get you. That block between the next route starts, that's to go pick up the people who like from the grocery store and take them back, so they don't have to wait. You guys see the orange? I should put the schedule up here. Okay, so when you have the schedule, right here at the very end, it says return trips until the next loop. Jenny has time before the next loop to go pick the people up from the post office and take them back home. That's why that's in there, and that's why the bus doesn't run more routes, because then we can pick those people up at Country Market, the post office, etc., and take them back and then not have to wait an hour to get back. And you just let Jenny know, hey, I'm doing this, come back and pick me up. Jenny's like a superhero. She can do everything. Right. My birthday, my first 4 hours of wave, I rode with Jenny, and it was awesome. Yes.
Oh, the line. That. You would have to go to.
Palmer Auto, and we got to cross the street. Yep. We tried to do it like, yeah, we had the 2 stops, we had to spread some of them out so we could hit all the places that people really go to. Yes, so right now we, yeah, so that's the next step, is to take them down, and we're currently going through the process of getting new signs up. There's many stops that don't have signs, we are working on getting those up, but we're gonna put temporary ones up. So we should be working on that over the next month, getting those signs down, at least having temporary signs if they don't have permanent ones. And then we're gonna put new permanent signs up next year, because we're working through designing and getting approval on that right now.
Okay. So another question, if you're down in that Chelsea Bank area, and I see the bus.
Yeah.
So I just wait, or do I?
So if you guys are on the bus, you let Jenny know, hey, I need to go here, right? Like, I mean, you can get on the bus, but like, let's say you're here and you get on the bus, right? Say, hey, when you go to Chelsea Bay Bank, can you drop me off at Dollar Tree?
Okay, but didn't take that.
So when you're,
You're to get picked up.
so if you didn't ride the bus and you couldn't tell Jenny to come back, because that's what you can do too, is get up and say, hey, I'll be done. You know, this time you're gonna come around, can you pick me up? You can tell her when you're getting off, you take it there. If you get a ride from someone else and need a ride back. For deviations where you need to be picked up from somewhere, then you need to call dispatch and let them know. One of the big things I
like walk there to get picked up by the bus. Where do I stand?
if you're like, if you're gonna have to go to Dollar Tree, just be outside of Dollar Tree.
Just call her and then.
Well, you can't call her. Okay, so I'll explain deviations better. So if you're on the bus, you just get on and tell Jenny where you need to go or say, hey, pick me up here. Now you can't necessarily schedule it for like 12:50, she's somewhere at 12:50. But if you're doing the deviations, you can tell Jenny you want to be picked up at that orange block or whatever, you know, and be brought back home. Now, if you guys want deviations, let's say you're at Dollar Tree and you want to get picked up to go back to the senior center, okay? Then you need to call dispatch and they actually put it on her schedule so she knows to come get you. If you're not on the bus first, you can't tell her. You just have to let let dispatch know. Now, calling dispatch, a lot of people get the voicemail and then they go through the tree. So I get to complain because I'm number 4, I think, and I answer the phone most of the time unless I'm at presentations and meetings. We have up to 3 dispatchers at a time. Dispatch runs 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you get the voicemail, just leave a voicemail. They check them all the time. I watch them as soon as they're off the phone. They check the voicemail and answer them. I know you want real people. Real people will call you back. This, you know, think about it. You guys are on the phone. Sometimes it takes like 5 minutes to get it set up, especially new people. So just leave a voicemail and they will call you back. Okay. And if they don't, you let us know that they do. Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, I was trying to get it figured out about like you were on the route and they dropped you off at a certain place when they would come back to get you, but you were kind of explaining.
Okay, yeah. So you see where she gets on the route, like I said, the orange part at the end, she can pick you up. Now, you do have to ask her because, like, let's say the first round, 5 people say, hey, come get me at the deviation time. She only do so much for the next round, but she'll let you know. Okay, but with the ridership we have on the bus, it should work okay. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the community connector. So the community connector was the one that was stopping outside the senior center, is no longer doing that. It makes more sense for the Chelsea community ride to stop here for seniors coming to the senior center, for high schools across the street and walk over here and use the bus. Chelsea community ride started in 2000 when AAATA pulled out of Western Washtenaw County. This route has changed over the years because we first only went to Baker Road and then we expanded out as they pulled back. But same thing, this route has been overall pretty much the same since 2000. We have 2 routes, yeah. The community connector does Chelsea, Dexter, and Scioto, and the Jackson Road connector, which does up and down Jackson Road. So Woodview Commons, which is the new housing community right there by Baker Road and Jackson Road, and we go all the way down to Parkland Plaza by the car dealerships. Okay. Both those buses were stopping at a lot of the same things over and over again. So we looked at the door-to-door stops, we looked at what our riders needed, and now we have the Jackson Road connector goes up and down Jackson Road, including Meyer. For anybody that does do transfers, a lot of young people do this. We meet up with AATA bus number 30 at Meyer, so you can transfer and get anywhere with AATA then. And then also, if you guys ever know anybody from the rest of Washtenaw County we don't cover, if they take AATA to Meyer, they can get on our buses, or they can book rides with us, door-to-door rides with us, because now they're in our service, okay? That's a little different, people. Now, the community connector that goes to Chelsea, Dexter, and Scioto, it just stops at the Park Street across from Purple Road, by the big parking lot by the library. And then it goes through all the areas. The changes we made was it was stopping in a couple of schools, now stops at Hilltop's Apartments, Bushes, and then it actually comes around on Z. So it stops over by like the McDonald's, Holiday Inn, Grand Traverse Pike, that whole area now is now stopped because that was a lot of door-to-door rides. Yep. And once again, if it stops there and you want to go to Grand Traverse Pike Company, you just let the driver know you want that deviation. One thing these 2 buses do all the time, a lot of people don't realize this, Kiwanis Thrift Store has always been a deviation. We actually have a bus stop sign on Jackson Road. So if you want to go to their store, because I mean, out there for like hours, right? And anyways,
If we buy a chair.
Only if you take pictures. Yeah, it'll take you there, and a lot of people don't realize, so, and that, once again, those in there are suggested deviations, but it's not the only deviations we do, it's just to show people, we will stop at gas stations. People pass to go to Speedway, we will stop at secondhand stores, whatever you need, as long as it's within a 3/4 of a mile. Any other questions about this one?
Do they leave you there and then come back and pick you up, or do they?
Same thing, so it's a fixed route, okay? So you would, with a schedule, all you gotta do is say, hey, I'll be done by the next round, and then they'll stop and pick you up.
And how long does that round take? About an hour?
But we have the Jackson Road connector down to every 45 minutes. And the community connector is every hour and 5 minutes. I mean, an hour in Kiwanis, I definitely do that, so.
How far up to Jackson Road do they go, or up Jackson Road? Go towards Ann Arbor?
So, we cover all of Scioto Township, any township we're in, we cover the whole thing with door to door. Our fixed routes go to Parkland Plaza, right by where the dealerships you are, at the line at Wagner. But the fixed routes go to there, but once again, if you have something that's within 3/4 of a mile, it'll work. The big change we made was we changed around the stops, so it could be more efficient. And then, both buses were running on the weekends. And had to make cuts, so that was a good cut we made, because what we did is, on the weekend, only the community connector runs, but the community connector hits up all the stops. Okay, so it hits up Jackson Road, and it hits up the ones it normally does during the week. Okay,
Is that the same two buses that do those routes?
bus numbers, not always.
Oh, okay.
One thing I'm working on, because people are confusing using fixed routes, especially the community connector, and Jackson Road connector, because people, well, especially when they share stops, like even at Myers, they both stop at Myers. People didn't know which bus it was, not all of ours have marquees. So we're actually going to be getting magnets from the buses, so you guys do know. The buses you get are different. Some of our drivers are CDL drivers, some of our drivers are chauffeur drivers. Chauffeur drivers cannot drive the big buses, they only drive ones with 13 or 14 pack, the smaller buses.
I see a lot of them when I'm driving around all over now.
So that's.
And I'm always
the
looking at the
yeah,
numbers of the buses.
Yeah, I mean, it's like now, I'm coming from meetings from everywhere, even when I go up to like Brighton stuff now, so we're in Unadilla and Putnam Townships, and I see them everywhere now.
Shasta.
Yeah,
I have a question from one of our Zoom participants. Says, I live at Lakestone and the new connector bus route doesn't work because it only goes to Meyer. Asking if you can change that back. He said, if I want to go to Chelsea, I have to drive my chair to Meyer or take the Jackson Road bus and have to wait anyways. And he says the old route worked much better. So just
okay, so yes, to do that, they would have to take the Jackson Road connector through like Meyer to get on the community connector. Unfortunately, we had to make these changes because of the funding issues, but I mean, one option too is that person could always call and see if there's a door-to-door available. If that's easier for them, all of our vehicles, you said a chair, all of our vehicles are ADA compliant. Our minivans hold 1 chair, our buses hold 2 to 3, and we are currently in process when we apply public transportation. Their new buses are actually paid for by the state. It doesn't come out of our funding. And so we've actually, when we applied for vehicles in upcoming years, she actually applied for full transit vans, a little bit better gas mileage, hold as many people in wheelchairs, or at least one wheelchair, but hold as many people as our small buses. But unfortunately, we cannot do that because we had to do this, but that rider could use door to door also.
thank you.
Okay, so door to door. This actually will show you our whole coverage area. Okay, the orange area is where we cover. We cover 22 communities. We cover a very large area. So in this area, the door to door covers everything. It doesn't matter if you are on a dirt road out in the middle of nowhere. If you're out in the middle of no house in Linden Township, we will come pick you up. The door to door. We take you anywhere in our coverage area, the whole orange area. Everybody's here senior, so if you're 60 and older, have a disability, a student K through 12, or low income, and all you have to do is tell this dispatch when you book the ride that there's no application process to get approved for. It is 50 cents. Okay. Now, our smallest bus holds 11, right? So let's say 10 of you want to go to Manchester for something like the Manchester Senior Center to check out the new senior center, right? 50 cents for all of you. We charge per ride, not per fare. We are public transportation. Our ultimate goal is to get people where they need to be. When we raise the fares, a lot of people don't use it as much. So it'll be 50 cents for all of you, 50 cents back. Yep, and then to go to the rest of Washtenaw County, so now you guys wanna go to the Imagine Theater and watch a movie? Or you wanna go to Briarwood Mall, or the Park Pier on Friday, cause this runs Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Or U of M Hospital, Kellogg Eye Center, Trinity Hospital, $2.50 one way, $2.50 back, and the same thing. Whether it's you by yourself or there's a group of you, even if it's you and your grandkids or your children who don't qualify for the discount, you just need someone in your group that does. So this started in 1976. It's actually what we started for. We started in 1976 for seniors and people with disabilities in the city of Chelsea. We had one vehicle. We are currently at 14 vehicles. Oh wow, that changed. 15 townships, there's 22 communities. We had 9 door-to-door drivers, and with the changes that we had to make, we're down to 8 right now, so we can get the additional funding. But with everything that we've been changing, we just found out last week, July, we had over 2,700 rides that month. And that's rides, not people. So there's 5 of you, it's considered one ride. We had over 2,700 rides that month. So although we've had to make cuts, we are still getting more and more people where they need. Currently we turn down around 300 door-to-door rides because we are busy sometimes. And I think some of those might be too, people go on the app and try to book weekends. We don't work weekends, but yes, it does get busy. The earlier you can notify us, the better. There's no longer a 72-hour notice like there used to be before the app, but it is getting busier. So the earlier you can notify, the better. But I have seen people call the same day and sometimes get rides, but that's a lot of the denials. And then the reason I put this on here is for people to realize 1,000 rides a month are canceled by riders. So if you know you can't do a ride that you book, just let us know as soon as possible so we can give the opportunity to somebody else. Yeah.
Medical appointments in particular, they're unknown in terms of.
Oh, yeah,
So how do you handle the pickup? You don't know whether you're gonna be done in half an hour or 3 hours.
So yeah, back in the day, we went to the doctor, we were there for her checkup, 20 minutes. Apparently NC teens don't like how we have to wait for a while now and don't get up till later. They gotta get back to the phones. So we make your appointment. When you do a door-to-door, they'll give you a 10-minute pickup window, okay? And they will go. And if you are not out there, they will call. The drivers will call you, and then they will call dispatch and have dispatch call you. If nobody answers, then they will leave outside that window because it looks like everybody else just drives. These are ride share. Now when you go to the doctors, they'll ask, approximately how long does it take, and they'll put it in the system. All you gotta do is let us know you're not done. We do will calls. Usually within 20-25 minutes, they still get a driver there for you. I have seen people wait like 30, but they kind of know you're there, and the drivers are everywhere all the time, as we just discussed, so we find a driver that can pick you up. And actually, with all this stuff, we've actually had dispatchers leave the office and spray look at the voicemail to go pick people up because we have to get this covered as a service to you. Yes.
When someone is dependent on the ride and they currently twice a week, and they've had a standing subscription that they're always picked up. I was just told that that's changing, and now you have to call 2 weeks in advance. When someone needs to plan long term and it's consistent, the same 2 days, the same pickup, same drop off, how is that going to be handled if you can't plan long range knowing that there's going to be transportation available?
So one of the changes with the funding cuts we've had to do, because we did cut down a door-to-door driver, is there's a lot of people who have subscriptions like to come to the senior center, hence why we have it in fixed route now and other places. We have to prioritize medical, work, and school right now. Those have to be prioritized first. So I do know subscriptions to other places. I believe it said they were going to start not doing those right now. And a lot of it is because we have so many subscriptions, we cannot get people we have people called who need to be at dialysis, cancer treatments. So we're trying to make those more the priority, but they won't if anybody's room has rides booked, they're not going to cancel on you. We just have to prioritize our subscriptions right now with the funding cuts so people make sure people are getting their medical treatments to work into school. But even work in school, nobody uses it 5 days a week. I always tell people when I set up, you can't book it to go to school every day or work every day because that's not fair. But right now we just have to prioritize those, so that's why we're not doing subscriptions for other stuff like the hair appointments and the senior center. Any other questions? Yes.
How far in advance can you book a doctor's appointment?
You can book them out months now. When we met with CRC, Marie was telling people, I think she said 2.5 months. Book your trips.
Yeah.
Make sure you know, because like when you do trips, so like the senior center or like CRC, when they do trips, we actually bring a driver in those shuttles. Dexter Summer Festival. Those are drivers that come in specifically for that. So we did that. You can book it months ahead now. Since we have the Ride Bingo app, I think it used to be a month limit back a couple of years ago. With the app, we can book for months out now. So I always tell people when you make your appointment, just call Wade afterwards. And one thing our dispatcher does have for the door-to-doors is I notice a lot of people really want to go from Chelsea to Brighton or Jackson to Chelsea. So what I did was I contacted the surrounding agencies. We work with them anyways. And our dispatchers have Let's Bus, which is Livingston County buses, and Jackson JATA, Jackson Area Transportation Authority, has the contact information for like their reserve a ride, and Let's Bus does like us, they do like door to door, they don't have fixed route at all, I don't think. So that if you had to get from Chelsea to Brighton, you can actually call Wade and book it and then call Let's. So Wade can take you to like the Picnic Coffee Shop. She's super nice. And then Let's can pick you up there and take you to Brighton and the same thing back. So you can drive, don't want to. There's actually ways to get between counties, between the differences. So I went through and found the prices. Some will only run like Jackson only runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday in those outside areas like Grass Lake. So I wrote it all down to make it easier. People can go between the different counties. Okay, so the Ride Bingo app. I know a lot of people don't use their phones, but I wanted to explain this. So the Ride Bingo app we got April of last year. And that's what's made our door-to-doors more efficient. Let's explain to some people. Before we had the Ride Bingo app, our dispatchers would have to go into each driver's schedule and see who has, so if you want to go doctor at 1 a.m. next Tuesday, they'd have to go through each driver's schedule and see who was available. Ride Bingo app, they put the information in, it brings up the availabilities, and then they let you know which one works the best for what you need that day. So the Ride Bingo app, you also can book on there. Parents, a lot of people use it. Parents use it because they can see where their kids are. This is actually what Lincoln Hoover looks like. I don't have it in this area, but I've traveled. I just taught my kids how to use Lyft in DC last week. So you can actually see, like if you ever do use, you'll actually see the bus coming to you and you can see it moving down the road. Our late night service, that's the one running over the summer. That would only be booked on the app because we do not have dispatchers working at that time. Kept the cost down. So that one you would have to book while. So I did this last night to show you because it's after 8 p.m. So you actually see, you can only book that one on the app and you cannot rebook that one. That's only one of us. What the app also has, I'll show you, when the fixed routes are running, right, especially in the winter, our buses get behind. That's for the rider safety because the roads are bad, right? If you download this app, one thing you do is right on the home screen, you scoop down to the bottom, and it actually has the fixed routes down, and if you're here, it'll actually tell you what time Jenny's going to be here. So it actually shows you them, and you can see if it's running a little behind that day when it's going to be here next for all of the routes. Yes.
I might have misunderstood the lady that just asked that question about the sex route. I have acquired an answer as I was I'm restricted in my driving for medical reasons. So I need to be at a certain time, so I'm done always at a certain time.
Yeah.
But I'm in Ann Arbor. So do I have to take a bus from Ann Arbor back?
No, you call dispatch first and make sure door to door is available. The door to door, like honestly, our busiest time of day. I mean, it's pretty busy during the day, but I think it's like 7 to 10. I think like 3 to 6 is like our busiest times of the day.
Are you saying we have door to door?
Well, what time is choir practice done? It's done before 9:30, right?
It's done at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So our door to door runs Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. We expanded the hours last year after we got the Ride Bingo app. Because running at 8 to 4:30 was not the best for our riders. Like I said, we have really spent the last 2 years evaluating what our riders want and try to change our service to what we have around them.
So I just call ahead of time.
Yeah, and if it's a set thing, you can call dispatch, say, hey, I have this every week or every other week, and see if you can at that point, if you're in the evening, there's not really medical priorities or school priorities at that point, right?
Right.
So you may be able to put a subscription in at that time, but just call and ask or say, hey, can I book it next week? And the week after, maybe you have to call back, you do, But I would call dispatch, hit number 2, So when you call now, number one is rides within the next 24 hours. They make those voicemails a priority, obviously. Or you hit number two for any other rides. So hit number two. If they don't answer, leave a voicemail, they'll call you back and just talk to them about it. But door to door would be the best for you. Be the best for you to do. And then if you guys do want it on your phones, you can use a phone. You scan these QR codes. This is the one for Google Store, Google Play Store, and this is one for Apple Store. So it makes it a lot easier to find.
Can you bring it and that when we leave so we can all photo?
Yeah. Well, honestly, my next one's just saying questions with our email, which you guys have on your thing. So I'll just leave it here and you guys can do that, okay? Do you guys have any questions? Yes. Okay.
Who's this?
So with our current capacity, we cannot take everybody all the way to DTW, but what we can do is the A2 flyer. It runs most of the day. It is $25. And I think it gets you, because it has a couple stops, it gets you there in an hour. And I mean, it runs like midnight, 2 a.m. to midnight. It's like most of the day.
And for seniors, it's less.
Yeah. Huh?
I was in Ann Arbor and they took out to this years.
That we wouldn't take you to A2Y or A2 flyer?
Yeah, wherever that. The same bus.
Well, that,
In Ann Arbor.
oh, AATA?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, no, they might change something. I know the A2 flyer was really well. I never took it myself. Last time I live in Shasta.
Wade said that it's.
So like I thought, okay, so I started in a wave in October of 2023. Beforehand, I worked for the Chelsea Chamber and I would get calls about wave among every other business in this community. They think the chamber can fix everything. But I know that like in the past, we've had problems with the voicemail. We have revamped our phone system. You guys have any issues? All you guys gotta do is let us know when we look at it. Like my kids use the app and they tell me about issues they find and then we know to fix it. Because ourselves, we don't call dispatch to book rides. We don't book rides on the app. We're the ones bringing it to you, okay? So the last 2 years, we have really revamped a lot of this. And people are getting where they need to be now. And so what happened years ago is not happening now. That's a lot of what, I mean, besides the funding issues, I mean, we were looking at the routes anyways. Like I said, we need this to be what our riders want. But if you notice any problems, like I had someone from today to tell me they had a voicemail with the answers, sometimes it'll slip through, but it doesn't have to last. So let's go back and look at it. Please let us know if we have issues and we'll look at it so we can fix them.
In the nighttime bus is $20.
So nighttime bus is $20. The late night ride is considered a premium service. So that's why it's $20. It's the same thing. It's $20 a carload. So if you were going out, if you're going out with 5 of your friends, it's still, as long as you guys have the same pickup and the same drop off, it's the $20 fare and that's it. And there is not 50%, but there is a discount for seniors, people with disabilities, students, and low income stuff.
So when the late night ride stops at the end of August, is that gonna give you your extra driver back?
No, it is not, because the reason we had to cut that driver, so the late night service actually was completely funded, so the service, driver, the wrap, this is a great wrap, this is big, my favorite design of bus so far. All of that was actually covered with the contributions from the businesses and DDA, they completely covered that route until the end of August. And I mean, yes, you can use it for drinking, that was a big plan behind it, because the majority of our sponsors are, establishments that sell alcohol, but you also have like Palmer Auto, Chelsea Chamber of Commerce, that has also in labor printing and sleep. They also contributed to the service because they know how important it is. You can use it for that, but Purple Rose, you guys want a Purple Rose? Like I just finally went a few years ago. It's awesome. You can now go to the later ones because the late night can take you home. The late night, the only difference is that one does not take you to all of Washoe County. It's only within a 7-mile radius so that we can provide more rides in the area. These are all part of the agreements with the DDA. When we did this one back and forth, we did, discuss everything. So that one's only within a 7-mile radius.
So, okay, so this is a question. Me and 5 friends wanna go downtown, do they all have to come to my house to be picked up, or will the bus pick us up in our individual homes?
You can each book your own door-to-door as long as you're in our coverage area. May not necessarily be the same bus. It's gonna be the bus that's in that area. So if one of your friends lives even 10 miles away, it could be a different bus. But then each of you will pay your own fares, which if you're traveling in the service area, it's 50 cents or $1, right? If you guys want to pay one fare for your group, then you all go to your house. That's the biggest difference.
And so where does the $20 come into play there?
So if you guys all wanted different pickups for late night service, it'd be $20 a ride. And you would all be on the same, the bus then, because there's only one late night bus.
So we'd split that $20 among the, however many of us.
If you're all the same place.
All at the same place, okay.
Yeah, the only way you can share fares is if you have the same pickup and the same drop off. Anything's different, then it's separate fares. Yes,
Is that ride card that we got here at the seniors, that's still any good or is that just?
yep, no, I got some yellow ones that I don't know how old they are. I design the passes, I print the passes, they don't expire. I told people you take them, even if you drive and it takes you 5 years, we'll keep
Still
some.
good,
Yeah,
okay.
and just so you know, we do if, let me get your question and I'll talk with the payments. What, did you raise your hand?
Yeah, I wanted to get an idea of the budget for that one driver.
Okay, so to figure out how much it takes for a wave to operate, it's $80 an hour, and that includes the driver, maintenance on the buses, the gas, insurance, all of that, it takes us $80 an hour, that's why nonprofits pay, it was 75, it just went up to 80 because of, rising costs. That's why we charge nonprofits $80 an hour for their group trips and shuttles, because that's how much it costs us.
So, I mean, in terms of having, like, a portion of your budget.
Of the 80,
No, well, just how much, let's say. $50,000.
well, $50,000, we have to divide it,
You have to go.
you have to divide it by 80 to figure out,
Yeah,
because
I see.
I mean, if we put another driver on, it's not just the driver.
Right.
It's the vehicle and the maintenance and the insurance and everything that comes with it. So it is the $80 an hour.
Under the umbrella, property.
Well, the $80 an hour,
Standards,
huh?
you have certain standards.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have standards we have to meet because we are public transportation. We have to go through MDOT restrictions. That's why, like, if you book a trip, a shuttle on your own, there's actually a half hour beforehand and a half hour after added to it. So an hour is added to every trip because our drivers are required to do a pre-trip and a post-trip of the buses. But that's a great thing because literally they take their tablet and it's a list of questions where they have to inspect the fluids and everything on that bus to make sure it's safe. Yeah. So the $80 an hour is the cost to run. For like, if you guys wanted a group of friends to go to a casino, then it is $100 an hour if it's not for a nonprofit. And it does help us to cover this. Okay, so payment options. You can pay the driver cash. You book on the app, and if you use credit cards on there, there is a small fee, it adds a few cents because we use money, credit cards. The paper passes that you got from here, we have $20 passes. And it works for $20 in rides, so that's 40 rides in our coverage area. And then you're looking at $5 round trip outside, so that's 4 rides outside. If you guys decide when your senior center passes are done, you want another pass, all you gotta do is when you book your ride, you tell the dispatcher, say, hey, have the driver bring me a pass. Do you wanna come see us? Our office is awesome, and you can come see us, but if not, you just tell them to have a driver bring a pass next time you come, and then you just give the driver the $20, you can have your pass. And then they just mark it off every time you ride. One of the new things Wave has done is we actually have monthly passes. The information is up here for you guys to see. And we have different options. So if you guys do end up riding it a lot, we have the greater Western Washtenaw. So if you only go in our service area, and this once again too does have discounts. I think instead of 25, it's like 20 or 18. It's a slight discount, but like $25 a month. So for people who do ride it numerous times a week, all month long, it ends up being cheaper. So we have a monthly pass for riding just in our service area. We have one just for riding the fixed routes, and then we have an unlimited pass for everything. You just pay for those online or on our website, and then you just get a little receipt in your email on the phone, and you just show it to the driver. Any other questions?
You want to make.
Oh, I've had people tell me before I should be in politics, that's not my thing. I just spent time in DC. I don't want to get caught. We left like a day before the National Guard came out, thank God.
Shasta,
Yes.
in November of last year, Washtenaw County approved a senior village. Some of that money is supposed to be reaching local transportation groups. You tell me where we are with seeing any of that money with Wade?
Well, we were hoping they made a decision a while ago. They are currently trying to figure out where to put the money. They do want to contribute money to transportation. They understand that the senior population is growing and is very vital. But they're trying to figure out who to distribute it and how much. Wave is on that list. Marie has been working with the county commissioners. But we need them to make their decision. So we're hoping they'll have it by October 1st for our fiscal year, at least have a decision by then, but we don't know. We are waiting for them to make a decision. So that's what we're doing right now, is just waiting. So we're hoping by the fiscal year that we will have some contributions for them. And with those contributions, we should be able to bring back the Chelsea Community Ride all weekend for the next fiscal year, not just till September 30th this year. But that is what we're waiting for right now, just county commissioners to make a decision. And we don't know for sure when that'll be. We thought it was gonna be a couple months ago or so.
By the way, that millage is an 8-year millage. So the way we're to receive funding from that is conceivable that they could get up to 8 years of funding from that millage.
Yes, I believe with the discussions, it sounds like we are gonna be, depending on what they decide, it would be, it would be an annual payoff, we would get. Yes,
You were talking about the late night bus is ending,
August the 30th, yep.
won't go.
So the funding that we collected lasted for the summer. So then, EDA can decide again if they would like to do it. I do not think it's gonna continue on right now, and we do every summer. But we have to work with the DDA right now to see their decision. So for that one, yeah, we would need the funding back in the DDA and then find sponsors, so. Which I do know some of our current sponsors would continue to contribute, but. So what to do, I would say the ridership, like the first month, only 5 people. Right?
So should we contact PBA? It would be nice if this.
You know, if you guys wanted to contact anybody, I can't tell you to, but if you contacted anybody to help us, that would be great. So, I mean, Wade will take any support we can get. We're continuing to grow, we're continuing to make changes for you guys. So yeah, anything you would like to do, I mean, you guys telling people that you want this to keep going, does help Wade. Yeah.
For people who are at the senior center, I'm on the Wade board, so you can always rattle my chain and want to about some developing in Wade.
Yeah, Gary is on our board. So yeah, he would also, so he's someone that's around all the time. So like I said, if you guys have anything come up with Wade, you can contact us, you can tell Gary and we'll make sure we look at what happened, okay? Yes.
I'm currently riding the Wade bus every Friday,
Mhm.
just from the senior center to my home.
Yep,
Now, do I have to call and make any changes?
and
or
you have
not?
you have a subscription, right?
I have.
Yeah, you're set, you don't have to call every week, right?
No, I don't call every week. I just tell them to plan on every Friday at
Yep.
6 p.m.
And nobody's called you to tell you they have to change it, right?
I haven't heard anything
Then
different.
you're fine, 'cause like, as you've seen, they have had to make calls to some people.
So the path that I have from the senior center here.
They're good as long as you have them, so you use them up. Yeah. Yep, so those are good as long as you want, and one thing I should know too is, living in the communities, I've had people come up, I had a mother come up to me in Chelsea one time and told me she can't even afford the 50 cents to take her and the kids on buses where they need to go. So I've talked to people about it, Grass Lake Community Initiative, the Wellness Coalition in Grass Lake, actually bought passes for Grass Lake Community, so there's free passes there. And then there is other places in Chelsea that actually have free passes for people, not afford them. We have some places that actually buy monthly passes, and then we have places that are actually buying.
So is this the new one?
So. Get a hold of me, read it over community health. In Chelsea, and they'll guide you. But that is one thing I have been trying to work on, is with the people who paying for the 50 cents, we are getting more passes out for people. Anything else? Yes.
Who would you call if you're interested? Nonprofits interested. Having a bus take a lot somewhere.
So, it's Marie Gress that actually sets up the trips, and then Kim Carpenter. So Marie Gress is our executive director. She's like the top dog. Then you have myself, communication coordinator, you have Kim. Carpenter, who is the public transportation supervisor. She is the one that sets the trip up, gets the drivers and everything out. If you go on the internet, the easiest way to do it is on our website. There is a group page under schedules. You go on there, and it's a really simple form right on that page to fill out. It gets emailed right to Marie, and she'll get a hold of you. Yes.
What size buses do you have?
So our smallest bus holds 2 wheelchairs and 11 people. And 37 is one of our newest buses. 37 and 38 are our highest numbers. 37 holds 2 or 3 wheels. Our biggest one holds 30. It holds, I think, 2 wheelchairs. They hold 2 or 3, and like our biggest one holds like 28 to 30 people. Yeah. I'll go over the stuff up here. There's information up here. The newsletter sign up is up here. Got filled out. Awesome. So newsletter comes out once a month. What the newsletter does have in it, if you have email that you use, it has the changes. Every time there's changes, I have to put them out. I'm sending out one later today with this updated information about the Chelsea Community Ride starting up again on August 30th. I have the press release I'm sending out. Our upcoming events, starting next year for our 50th birthday anniversary, but I call it a birthday. We're gonna have a wave carnival, and that will be our annual fundraiser event. We did not want to do a gala dinner and silent auction because WAVE is about fun and WAVE is about everybody, including children. But this carnival will be fun for all ages. I can't find it. And then we have other events. We did a consignment crawl in May. And what we did, we took a bus. People got on it. We took them to all of our communities and the resale shops. The resale shops had specials. We were such a fun group. We had 2 different cars follow us from Grass Lake to Manchester, hanging out with us. And so, in September, it'll be coming out. It'll be on our social media website too, but we're gonna have another one. We could change the name some because it's gonna consignment and resale shops, not all consignment, resale shop. And then we actually have restaurants that are gonna give specials too while you're there. And then that one's gonna be $10 a ticket. We have a small fundraiser for WAVE. The best part is we're doing it on September 27th, so if you come, you get to spend my birthday with me. Then wanted that date, the other people planning, you shop. But we have different events we do. See what's some of the events I do. We do stuffle buses. So we've done in the spring, we do one for all the food banks. September, this newsletter is going to have it today. September, we have now partnered with the diaper bank that is at the First Congregational Church. And we are going to collect diapers, wipes, pull-ups during National Diaper Awareness Week. And then I also want, I'm doing it to create awareness for the diaper bank. A lot of people don't realize there's a place you can get diapers, wipes, pull-ups, pads, tampons, the adult diapers and the adult pads. They have all of that stuff there, and it's completely free for anybody who needs that stuff, not afford it. Yes,
I would encourage you to get poster size advertisement for these special events out so that, for example, the senior center can.
Yep. Yeah, so that's one thing definitely working on is getting this stuff out more. One thing I have done is I've made a PR list. So like when I do have stuff, I think it's Jennifer's on it. She gets all the events we have coming up. I try to send at least once a month, every other month, and then they can send it out to you guys. But definitely make sure I bring posters here for the upcoming events. Yeah, and then I need to I'm gonna get on the buses. Now when it's 90 degrees out, I don't turn the buses on. And I'm gonna put more, like you guys have seen, there's a lot of different poster holders in there. I'm gonna put more in all the buses, and I'm gonna put more stuff in there. So that our upcoming events will be on there, so you guys can know too. We've been actually putting drivers of flyers, so they still stuff it. If you notice, like the monthly passes, the changes, flyers are starting to put up, so we are working on more awareness. So I'll make sure I bring posters to all the senior centers. And then if you have any other suggestions, let me know. The Ride At email, that's on all of your guys' printed out brochures. I'm the one that checks that. Not my official email, but I checked that one. You guys ever have problems? You guys ever have suggestions? Do you want to meet with me, talk about something? Email that email, okay? Or you can call the dispatch number, and I'm number 4, I'm the community relations coordinator. I would love to hear from you. I love ideas. Ideas from the drivers and the community that help a lot of what I've done over the last 2 years.
So do you have the QR poster on the buses?
Yes, I will. We have Ride Kingo posters on some of them. They look like this, but bigger. They're 11 by 17. One thing, yeah, this is the old web page. So when I put them in the next, that's one of the next month. We're working on the bus stop signs, and I'm also working on getting those in. And I'll make sure the new posters have the actual QR codes to the stores, so it's easier if your Google store or your app store.
How do you get on the bus? Do you typically in this?
So for the consignment call, it is, one pickup, so like, the first one we actually did it during the week. We're doing the next one on a Saturday, because people work during the week, wanted to go. But we needed one location, so the first one in May, it started in Chelsea consignment, and you just met there. And then, which, if you guys. For the bus, it doesn't go, for community connection, on TV, and just a dark street one, but we needed one location. Gave you all the places, and then we came back to the Chelsea.
And so you mean like.
Chelsea consignment's right next to Breathe Yoga on Middle Street, East Middle. Yeah, the final place to park, and we're gonna do it at like, I think we're looking at 9 to 5, we have to extend the hours, or a little rush. So I mean, at 8:45 AM, it should be easier to find the option. Any other questions? Okay, I want to thank you all for coming today. So like I said. Everything.